right, welcome back everyone. We're going to continue on in our energy unit and focus on a second major type of energy, and that is potential energy. So yesterday, or a couple days ago, I guess, we talked about kinetic energy and its many different forms, really just focusing on the mechanical aspect and solving for, like the speed of a moving object or how much kinetic energy a moving object has. And that's where our focus will remain in terms of kinetic energy. We're going to look at the potential energy side and what that means. It's stored energy and it can come in many different forms, as you can see here. So I'll address each of those. So potential energy is defined as energy stored as a result of position or shape. Elastic potential energy, our first type, results when an elastic object is stretched or compressed. The farther the stretch, the greater the potential energy. So here we see a spring in its normal state having no potential energy when it's not stretched or compressed. And then as you can see, either version, so stretching it or compressing it together, gives it some elastic potential energy. And the further you go, the more potential energy it'll have. Chemical potential energy is another type, energy that is stored in chemical bonds between atoms and compounds. In first semester, you learned all about different types of compounds, how to name them, how to write the formulas, and in each of those was stored energy. Another good example is energy stored in batteries or even in the food that we eat. And so we see this little, I think it's a pug or a French bulldog or something, definitely had too much lunch and currently has zero kinetic energy, but lots of chemical potential energy from overeating. We probably all kind of feel like that sometimes when we're in this, isolated state that we are. A third type, nuclear potential energy, is energy stored in the nucleus of an atom. And so there's a strong nuclear force that holds that nucleus together, which is considered a potential energy that we can harness by fission. And you learned all about that in semester 1. Potential energy is usually calculated in the form of gravitational potential energy. So pretty much all our problems that we'll do involving potential energy will be this type. So this is kind of the most important one. Gravitational potential energy is energy stored in objects that are elevated above some reference point, usually the surface of the Earth. It depends on 3 factors: the mass of the object in kilograms, the height of the object above the ground or some other reference point, and the acceleration due to gravity, which is 9.8 meters per second squared here on Earth. Our formula is potential energy, or GPE for gravitational potential energy, is m times g, that's 9.8 meters per second squared, times the height. Height will always be measured in meters, mass always in kilograms, and the acceleration due to gravity 9.8 meters per second squared, again on Earth. Now we're about to do some example problems, and I can't stress enough how important it is to actually do these problems on paper. I don't care if you're really into, the digital way, you're gonna do better by physically doing it. There's so much data behind the fact that anybody learns better by actually writing it down. And so if you need to restart this video and kind of write down some of these definitions on your own, I encourage you to do that, because that's going to involve so many different parts of your brain. It's going to help you to remember things better. Whereas just listening to me and watching me really doesn't involve much of your brain at all. And so it's not going to stick as well. Our first sample problem looks like a lot, but it's not too bad. A diver is on top of a 10-meter diving platform and has a mass of 70 kilograms and weighs 686 newtons. 3 questions. First, how much work did he do when he climbed up on that platform? Second, how much potential energy is he storing as he stands on the platform? And thirdly, what do these 2 answers show us about work and energy? Well, when we do this, work, if you recall, is a force multiplied by the distance traveled. Now, I wouldn't have even need to tell you his weight, because we know we can figure out the weight if we're given a mass, because mass times gravity gives us the weight in newtons. However, I did give it to you, and so I'm going to use that as my force. Okay, because whenever you're doing like a body weight exercise, in this case he's climbing up the stairs, the force you exert is the force of your own body weight. So 686 newtons is the force, and the distance traveled is 10 meters. Multiplying those two together gives us our work in joules, 6,860. But the second question asks us to solve for potential energy, which is mgh. So I'm going to use the mass, the gravity on Earth, and the distance again, 10 meters. And lo and behold, you should get the exact same answer. And so what does that tell us? Work and energy are one and the same. The work done in climbing up the platform is the same as the energy now stored up on that platform. A second problem, a 50 kilogram diver has 2,450 joules of gravitational potential energy that's stored as she stands on the diving platform above the water's surface. So that is our reference point in this case. Question is, how high is the platform? So we do have to do a manipulation here. We want height by itself. And so we're going to look at our base equation. Potential energy is equal to mgh. We want h by itself, so I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by m and g. So it looks like PE divided by m times g gives us the height. Plug in your values. 2450 joules divided by the product of 50 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared. Now, when you enter this in your calculator, please use parentheses so that the order of operations is not messed up. You should land at 5 meters. Make sure you try that on your own so you know that you're entering it on you correctly. So let's do some on our own. We've got 3 problems here. 2 of them require you to manipulate the equation, 1 does not. Please do it on paper. Show your work by providing the base equation, manipulating if necessary, and including units. If you do need to round to 1 decimal place. So I want you to pause me right now and work these out on your own. Okay, let's go through some solutions. So the first one was just a potential energy problem. I said GPE, that really means the same as PE since that's the only potential energy we'll be calculating. But we're going to multiply the mass times gravity times the height of that rock. And so when we do so, we end up with 509.6 joules straight from the calculator there. Second one, we've got a chicken on a 1.1 meter high counter, has 20 joules of gravitational potential energy, and you have to solve for mass. So we are going to have to take our base equation and solve for mass by dividing both sides of the equation by g and h. So potential energy divided by g times h should give us our answer. 20 joules divided by the product of 9.8 meters per second squared times 1.1 meters. Close your parenthesis. You should have to round and you'll get 1.9 kilograms for mass. The final one there has a pencil on top of a table, and I give you the potential energy relative to the floor. How high is the table, or how tall is it? So we're solving for h in this case. Manipulating the equation, we need to divide both sides by m and g. So h is equal to our potential energy divided by the product of m and g. So here we see our work, 0.09 joules divided by 0.01 kilograms times 9.8 meters per second squared. Again, close it up, and you should have to round to 0.9 meters, which is reasonable for the height of a table. So those are some typical sample problems. What you're going to do today is open up a short quiz where you're going to work out some more of these. It should be right next, sorry, that's my toddler. It should be the very next thing in the folder. And when you're done with the quiz, that's all we need from you today. Tomorrow we'll be looking at using an interactive on a PhET lab. Thanks for watching, and again, move on to the quiz that's next in the folder, please.